What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Average Joe Sports Podcast. As always, your boy Don here in LA. Got my one of my favorite dogs, Albert, in Sacramento, California. My favorite co-host.
Dog. Your
I mean,
only
my
co-host,
favorite
bitch.
dog.
My favorite dog. Me.
Thank you
My
guys
God.
for tuning in. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any streaming services, and of course, if you're listening on YouTube, welcome back. And for your new listeners, welcome aboard. We have a lot to talk about, as always. The blanket statement. I feel like I have to say that before we start the episode because a lot of shit happens within a week's time. So, with that being said, as always, we're going to start off with the NFL. And obviously, some hot news. I mean, it seems like every week there's a new curveball. This is probably one of the most bizarre off seasons we've had in like the last 5 or 10 years. And obviously, the big dog that left, he's small, but a big dog, Tyreke Hill traded to the Miami Dolphins. So we want to talk in terms of what does this mean for the Chiefs? What does this mean for the Dolphins? I'll let you kind of start off, brother.
It's interesting to see these teams, leave their big signings that they did for the first 4 years, and they're reluctant to sign into a new second-year deal. I've noticed, and these aren't just like shitty franchises, like the Packers.
Right.
They decided not to re-up with Devontae. Amari Cooper kind of had that same deal with the Cowboys. It's kind of same, kind of different. They're just reluctant to bring on that cap hit. And Tyreek with the Chiefs. That's a big boy franchise. It's not just like some cheap franchise that doesn't want to pay them,
Right.
So
right.
that's the thing I've noticed. Is this like going to be a trend going forward with receivers maybe, or why this is happening? But I know with Devontae, he maybe didn't want to go back to Green Bay. It kind of seemed like the Chiefs with this situation, they want to top Devontae's number, and they're just like, okay, well, you're out of our price range. So that's when they seek the trade. When I saw the news, it was pretty crazy. We were talking about it live, and it was between the Jets and Dolphins, right?
Right.
And I thought maybe the Pats would get in there. Who's the other team I said? The Cowboys. But then you kind of talked me out of it. It didn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Right.
No chance.
And if the Jets would have done it, oh boy, I would have hated it. They're so far, they're not in contention of even being close to the playoffs. Yeah, it would have given them a hot name into like a big market. Would have made them look cool. Offense, give a shiny weapon to Wilson. He needs everything he can get right now. But I like the move for the Dolphins. They had draft capital from the 49ers, a couple trades they made last year. They didn't spend the world and fucking stars on this guy. I like it. I like it. It's gives McDaniel some weapons to use, with Waddle. Now you got two guys. Tua, he's got to ball out. He's got to put big boy pants on. And what I love, they shored up the line too. They got Toronto Armstead, signed him. They didn't have the best line last year.
Fucking Connor Williams. They got Connor Williams from
Connor
us.
Williams too. Yeah.
Idiots.
And they got Mostert. Good compliment, little speedster. I don't know if he's still healthy, but McDaniel is just rounding out his offense. I would have liked, since Waddle and Hill they're kind of similar, right? They're similar speedsters. Not the biggest guys. They're both probably under 6 foot. Tyreke Hill is definitely under 6 foot. Waddle's probably close to it.
I think Waddle's more of a crisp route runner. Hill's just more like blazing speed. Waddle's got speed, but
Waddle's fast as shit.
Waddle's got speed, but
he's probably under 4.4.
He's probably not as fast as Hill, but he has better route running. He a better route running tree.
Well, you can't pick your receiver who you want. Ideally, I would love Mike Evans, Waddle, or Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, Tyreek Hill, a big physical guy. And then a speedster. But you can't pick who goes on the market, and there's a big name, and he's probably the best top 5 receiver out there right now, under contract or not under contract, and they made out. Got him. I like it. Applaud it. I always say, I applaud of just putting your fucking chips on the table. They didn't break their back for it. It's yeah. The Jets, I would have hated it for the Jets. I would have hated it for the Jets.
Their name was kind of been.
They needed so much more than just Tyreke Hill. They need a lot more than just that, and that would have kind of.
They just wanted to give them the money to somewhere, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't.
the Dolphins. Kind of
Yeah.
300 race maybe, hopefully, with the Bills and Patriots. We'll see the Patriots. We'll talk about the ABC later. But good for the Dolphins. Make them relevant.
Yeah, I think that's the key, right? I think obviously you have the new coach. You have, in our estimation, a terrible quarterback. Just I don't like. I think we're both on the same side of the fence there in terms of we're not Tua fans, but you get a new coach. You've had, you flirted with success in the last few years, right? And you see the condition of the division, right? Obviously, you have the Bills. We know that they're going to be great. But other than that, you have the Jets. You have, the Patriots. They had a certain level of success, but meaning like you've had the Patriots do, X, Y, and Z for a numerous amount of years. You had, the Bills were kind of doing great as well towards the tail end of that Patriots run as well. So now it's kind of your time to kind of be that second fiddle or to kind of make some noise. So they're all in for McDaniels. I like it, like you said. Not only are they getting skill players, they help that foundation because they were one of the worst offensive linemen. I think I checked the last year's rankings. The last week they were 32nd. So they needed to revamp that old line. So I like what they're doing. They added, my boy Cedric Wilson from the Cowboys, who I like towards the end of the season.
Obviously, I forgot about that. Right.
Yeah, you got that big ass dude in Gesicki. If he can stay healthy, they got Tua, but also they signed Teddy Bridgewater just in case. So we'll see so we'll see what he can contribute as well. I love this. Again, how you mentioned it, the Chiefs. They ultimately, this is what good teams do, right? They don't just simply say that they have a star player and just have it. You know what? We have to pay him what we pay him. No, they had their mark. They had their mark, and they said, you know what? We're not willing to it. We're not willing to fucking pass that mark. We're not going to release you. Obviously, if we can trade you, get good value, then we're going to do it, and in which they did. They made off. They made off well, but there's rumors already that they're going to be in the market to get another star receiver.
It looks like it. I don't know if it'd be a star. I could see them trading for someone like a
DK.
No, I don't know if that would work. I mean, that'd be great. I would like that for Mahomes.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see how Mahomes, kind of like Rodgers, how can they make their receivers be better?
Right.
Or is it these fucking all-pro receivers making them look good? I don't think that's it. I'm also almost pretty sure it's not it, but they're just two great compliments, and that's why they're still head and shoulders above the league. Two top players at their position. That's why they're just everyone fucking just star-studded over them. Maybe Cedric Wilson type receiver, or like a wide receiver 3. I can see them going after someone like that. Yep. Not Cedric Wilson per se, but just like who's the guy the Dolphins just from the Cowboys? Is it Cedric Wilson?
Yeah, Cedric Wilson.
Him. Or I'm trying to think of someone else. Maybe I know he's kind of out of his prime now, but someone like Mohamed Sanu.
Who, Des Bryant? Mohamed Sanu, okay. Senior
him,
too.
But not him, but someone like him. How the Patriots made a move for him, or like Emmanuel Sanders. How the Niners and
there you go.
The Saints, something like that. I can see them doing.
How about like a Cole Beasley?
Cole Beasley, yeah. I think he's a free agent still, right?
Yeah. The Niners were actually rumored with him as well.
No.
I think it was more of the fan base, but than actual. No, I've actually seen Niner fans and pages lobbying for him. So
we do need a little slot guy. That's who I was saying. I was pre-free agency, we need a little guy, a little speedster. As we ended up signing Ray McLeod. He led the league in punt returns last year. That was a good signing. Look for Mahomes to get another weapon. They got a nice draft pick, number 29. The Niners' original draft pick that they traded to the Dolphins to move up to get Trey Lance. So I don't think they should force the issue to get a receiver in the draft.
Right.
If something you like is there, I love Treylon Burks. This receiver class is about 15 to 18 wide. I think you could pick up somebody in the second, third, fourth round. Hopefully they pick up their first receiver in those first 4 rounds. But I love me a big trade, man. Love me a big trade.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously huge trade there. We'll see what happens with the Dolphins, and we also know the Chiefs also did pick up Juju Smith to see if he can kind of rejuvenate his career. He had some success as a number 2 in the past. Obviously, as of now, he'd be the second option, right behind Travis Kelce. You'd believe, and let's see what some of these ancillary kind of other guys in which, in theory, they seem like they were high upside. They just didn't have the opportunity. You know, a Pringle, a McCole Harmon. So we'll see what those guys can contribute now that there's more opportunities for them. So just kind of piggybacking off that, let's get into the AF East predictions and who do you think is going to win the division? Who do you think is going to fall back? What are your kind of thoughts on that?
I'll go in order from best to who I see is winning it and who I think is on the bottom. Bills.
Right.
I always look at the division, who has the best quarterback in the division, and they always 9 times out of 10 win the division. Bills, Josh Allen, top 3 quarterback, they got it. That's I think they'll be in second. I don't know if the Dolphins can upseed them, but Bill Belichick, interesting team to keep an eye on. Bill Belichick, he's not having an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator. I guess he's running the fucking show because he hasn't replaced McDaniels.
Well,
right? I haven't seen that.
No, he's got. I know he's got a minority on there helping him out in offense. So that's all I know.
Is he? Does he?
Well, I mean, every team, right? That's okay. New. Yeah, the new. So.
I'm interested to see if he's one of the GOATs coaching. So if he can pull together Mac Jones and a coordinator-less team into a playoff spot, that's great. Love that. Dolphins, I think they'll be neck and neck with the Pats and Jets. They haven't done shit this season, really. They got Laker Tomlinson, the guard from the Niners. Robert Saleh is familiar with him, going back to the days with the 49ers. I'm not completely sold on Wilson yet. Their line, they could probably go O-line in the draft. They don't have many weapons to give to Wilson yet. They doubled up on tight ends. That's good. You need that for like a younger quarterback, kind of an outlet. Their defense didn't make any moves on defense, really, right? I don't know. Nothing stood out for me. Like I said before,
right.
Jets. I'm low on. What about you?
Yeah. I could say I probably have a bigger gap between the Patriots and the Dolphins and you, but I've got Bills and Dolphins and Patriots and then the Jets. I think the Patriots, as of right now, unless they make a move on paper, I just don't see them just meeting what the level of success that they had this year, even with the the growth of Mac Jones and I guess in that system and whatnot. I just see them regressing with a few wins. Partly because the Dolphins got better, right? I mean, obviously you played them twice. The Bills are going to be the Bills, right? But I just think that the Dolphins will be vying for a wild card spot. I just can't see that spot that the Patriots were shooting for. The Dolphins, that's their spot this year. So
yeah, I love the Dolphins, but I mean their head coach, he wasn't an offensive coordinator. Like he was never like a play caller for any team. Shanahan called the plays all the time. He was Shanahan's little offensive mind. He was like the guru, but like, what exactly did he do? I know he designed plays, but to be out on the sideline, actually headset on, coordinating team activities, in and out, calling plays, a whole different beast. I'm a big McDaniel fan, but I'm still kind of pumping the brakes on it. Looks good on paper, but still pumping the brakes on it. It's a handful to coach a team.
Yeah, we'll see.
I would know.
Oh my God, we'll see. I mean, he's got like a maximum amount of fucking. He's got a dream list of fucking weapons, right? So from lateral to vertical threats now, he's got lateral guys and Waddle and whatnot. He's got big guys and Gesicki. He's got speed guys who can stretch the coverage out with Hill. He's got a speedster and Mostert. He's got a pass catching back and Edmonds and versatility there. Obviously the O line. It's exciting stuff and a good defense too. We'll see. So let's touch really quick before we stop with the NFL. We're at the 15-minute mark. Let's talk about Baker and Jimmy G. First, let's talk about who do we think is going to get traded first, and where do we see these guys going? And I definitely obviously at this particular point see Baker Mayfield being the first one traded, first domino if these two are going to be traded, right? And as of right now, I got him probably at the highest. I don't know. There's talks that he could potentially be, even traded to the Bucks. A team like the Bucks that he can go into the second year, and I don't know. That's the biggest thing for right now. that in terms of being traded with Baker Mayfield is that teams aren't wanting to even pay the $18 million that he's owed this year,
Guaranteed.
and they know that the Browns don't have much leverage. They know that if they release him, the Browns are going to have to pay that, right? Why would they trade assets? So the Browns have to understand they have little leverage here. If they're going to get anything from Baker Mayfield, considering the team would have to pay that $18 million, and we're talking, fourth round pick. I don't know I mean, he's not even under contract, so.
Yeah, this is last year of his rookie contract.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's the option year, the 5th year or not.
This is the option year.
Yeah,
this is the option year.
I think, he's cheaper than Jimmy G. He has a higher ceiling than Jimmy G. He's younger than Jimmy G. Jimmy G is more injury prone. I guess Jimmy G is more proven, whatever that means. He's won more games, but like
locker room guy.
Locker room, great leader. I would say that Jimmy G probably is a better leader than Baker. I'm not sure Baker doesn't seem like the best morale guy in the team. OBJ had his issues with OBJ, and OBJ just left and kind of popped off with the Rams and Stafford. So it makes you think. And the Browns didn't hesitate to get Deshaun Watson, who has fucking numerous questions of his own, of being a leader or being a fucking character. So it says a lot about everyone involved. But yeah, I think Baker is going to get moved first. I'm pretty positive, or cut first, and then that's when a domino will fall with Jimmy G. And I see Baker. I can't think of anybody really that stands out except one team. Which probably you're thinking of too is the Seahawks. Trying to think of a team that kind of wants to win, doesn't have a great quarterback option. Like he seems like he cares type of guy, just kind of like everyone's down on him, and it's like he's a bad guy, but he's got something to prove, and then he just kind of I don't know. And then Jimmy G, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen with him, man. I just gotta be patient. It's not be close to OTAs or minicamp or week 1. That's when his $25 million is guaranteed. They still can cut him and then owe him $7.5 million. But someone claims him and they sign him for more than $7.5, then that's theirs. But
Jimmy G will be a Niner. Jimmy G is going to be a Niner.
He's a Niner up until week 1.
We'll see. But I've been flirting with that idea for a while now. I'm telling you, Jimmy G is going to be a Niner.
He's a Niner right now. A lot of people are freaking out and just like thinking their Niners blew off their offseason because they had all that money just like handicapped to them or handcuffed to them. But I don't really see how they would have spent it on anybody else. Like, who else is there to sign that's worth all that? Like, no, they're not. There's no trigger date. Like, they're not paying him per day right now. Once week 1 happens and that 25 bill hits, that's when I'll freak out and be like, all right, you guys fucked yourself for this season and next season, just so you can't roll over that 25 to next year. But you never know. Trey Lance could like break his ankle, like fucking throwing some balls at a park, and he got Jimmy G right there. That's I'm like, okay, everyone's gonna be applauding him. Like, wow, that worked out actually. But like, there's no reason to cut him once because there's no. You don't gotta pay anything right now. But once
Jimmy
week 1 hits,
he's gotta be a Niner. Week
he's
1
a Niner right now.
Well, he's gonna be a Niner longer than you think. I think that he's gonna be a Niner longer than you think, because like obviously they're behind the 8 ball. Jimmy G, in terms of his value, and on top of that with the late surgery with the shoulder issue.
That's what
fucked the Niners this team is so ready to win right now, and I think truly, like last year, Trey Lance wasn't ready. He wasn't ready at all, and I still don't think he's ready. But I think that this year they'll seriously integrate him in terms of like week 3, 4, whatever the case may be, whether it's a bye, whatever it is, they'll really will transition into Trey Lance. But he's not ready. I don't think they want truly to start Trey Lance week 1.
I think he is. I think that was what all of last year was kind of this like doing what you said he's going to do this year. But this season, you got to tackle. You got to give him all the fucking reps from fucking day 1 of mini camp. And give him all the reps, 90% of them. And then our fucking first ring, they said Phil, he could get the other 10%. Jimmy G, you could fucking chill at home, be a good veteran guy, whatever. But he's got to get all the reps, and that's when he'll get better.
Where he should be
better. Yeah, he'll get better.
I'm on the record to say Jimmy G will be starting week 1 for the 49ers. I do think it'll be a very, very short leash. Trey Lance will be in probably game 2, 3, but I think Jimmy G will be starting week 1.
Just doesn't make sense. Why would they $25 million just to play 1 week?
Well, I mean, it's not just to play 1 week. I mean, it's
or like in your scenario.
Well, you're going to be paying him anyways if you release him. So you got to think.
If you release him before week 1, you only play 7.5 because it will be it.
7.5 true money or cap?
7.5.
There's a difference.
True and real. It's an injury guarantee, so they'll release him, and if he can't pass a physical, by then I think it'll be 7.5. But if another team signs him for more than 7.5, that money's gone. But say they sign him for $3 million a year, then we got to pay 4.5.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. I'm not stressing out about it yet. I'm not losing my fucking. No.
Let's go. Let's transition. We're at the 20-minute mark. Let's transition into some NBA. We'll see what happens with Baker Mayfield, Jimmy G, and the Niners, and Trey Lance. NBA, obviously, it's heating up. We're approaching the final season. We're approaching the final week of the NBA season. Another hot team is the Brooklyn Nets. They've been hot as of late. The last couple of games, I've actually placed a few bets on them. I've been eating pretty good on some Drummond and Nets work lately. And the question is, are the Nets serious title contenders right now? And I think until they can get Ben Simmons back, and if he's not healthy, I don't think so. I don't see this team, even with Kyrie Irving being able to play, at home and away games and all that other bullshit. I just don't see this team getting past a Milwaukee, getting past even the Sixers. I don't see them getting past them without Ben Simmons. So that's where I stand on that. What are your thoughts?
I think they could get past the Sixers without Simmons. Durant is a beast, bro. He'll literally pick them up by their nuts and carry them across the finish line. But with Irving and Simmons back in this scenario, I definitely think they're title contenders.
For sure. Yep.
Well-rounded team. Addition of Patty Mills get traded? No, not Patty Mills.
No. Patty Mills is there.
Curry.
Steph Curry. Yep.
Yeah, not Steph.
Seth. Yep.
But yeah, I love that addition. I'm just not sold. Well, that's a different conversation. But yeah, I think I'm all in on Durant, just carrying them across the finish line. Harden, he's on that team. Hell no, I don't. I got enough. No, he's like
big hate Harden.
I do. He's like my Cliff Kingsbury. He's just fraud.
Yeah. We'll see. But I mean, I definitely I can't say much to combat that. Obviously, his track record has been garbage. But man, I mean, I think Sixers do have the best player in the world right now. Even though in terms of the award, we'll get. I do think that which will transition now MVP race. I do have Joker as a front runner right now, but it's weird. But I still think Embiid is the best player in the world right now. Joker is obviously he's special. He's filling the stats and he's doing everything. I don't know why, but I just look at Embiid in terms of just winning a game and having the rock in his hands. I don't know.
I think Embiid is more dominant. That makes more sense. But Joker is more impactful. I feel like sometimes they do go hand in hand. But Embiid, he's just another power down low, and he can just take over a game sometimes too, kind of like how Durant can. But Joker, he fills it up, and he does have a lot of impact carrying his team. Who lost 2 star players before the season even started. Has him as a top seed or one of the top seeds.
It is fucking ridiculous what he's accomplished.
Right?
I was watching him last night. I had a bet on him last night. And I had bet him for points and rebounds, and it's just he had a slow start too. He had freaking 4 points or something like that, and I don't know, 6 rebounds. This fool ended up with 19 rebounds, 26 points, and 12 assists. It was just fucking stupid.
Crazy. It's crazy. With Joker winning it last year, I would hate for Embiid, and it's looking like this. He would lose it twice in a row with how good he's been in back-to-back years. You don't really have anything to show for it.
Right.
and that heartbreaking playoff loss last year where he's like crying out of the tunnel. And hopefully, I'm rooting for him. I'm a big Embiid fan. I hate that Harden went on this team. I wish he would have got someone else. Yeah. I mean, they're a good match for each other, but I'm not so
fuck.
I got like a little.
You know, fucking field.
Got like a fucking like a hair or some shit.
You there you go.
Feeds.
Oh shit.
I was flawless. I didn't even like flinch. I was just gonna keep on continuing, and then you just felt.
Yeah. My bad for speaking up. This motherfucker just spit in the middle of the fucking segment.
It wasn't spit. It was like a.
Yeah. So, all right, cool. So, obviously, we have Joker as the MVP race. Let's talk about, before we close out NBA, what seedings, what matchups we would love to see the most in the playoffs. And I'll start this one off. Number one, just because I want to have some fucking fun. This season has been fucking terrible. So this is not a series, because I don't think it's not possible. But I'd love to see the Lakers play the Clippers in a play-in, just to have some fucking fun for one night. Have something after a fucking atrocious, fucking terrible fucking season as a Laker fan. Give me one night, Lakers beating the Clippers in the play-in, and then obviously we'll get maxed out the next and lose to the fucking Grizzlies or whatever, whoever's number one. But I'd love to see that. And then obviously for real serious contenders, basketball reasons, we would love to see the Nets versus the Sixers, right? Like, I mean, that's not opening round, but eventually we need to see that. So those are my top two matchups that I want to see. Who do you got?
I was talking to you before we started recording. I'd like to see the Phillies and Lakers. I think that actually can happen in the playing series. They have a big history of a big trade that happened a few years ago. And I was with you when that trade went down, and you're jumping out of your seat, and I liked it.
Let's go.
I was more hating on it kind of because I just didn't want to.
Yeah.
But hindsight, you do that trade 10 times out of 10 again, I think, to get a championship. But I just like how they revisit each other in the future. And it's Brandon Ingram, albeit Lonzo Ball left, and Josh Hart. I just realized that.
I think they're like all hurt.
Yeah, no, Josh Hart got traded.
Josh Hart's fine. Right? Yeah, he's on the Blazers. I think he's healthy, and but Brandon Ingram's hurt.
And then Pelicans didn't pick up Ball's contract. I guess they could have, right? They didn't match.
Yeah.
They might have did a
signing trade. Paid. He got paid by the Bulls.
Yeah. So yeah, I love to see that Brandon Ingram playing the Lakers without AD. Is AD coming back this year? No. Huh?
Yeah, he'll be back. I think he's gonna be. Yeah, he'll be back. I think it depends on our success. I don't know, but I want to say he'll be back, and he's been shooting around for the last week or so, and he's been his leg has been responding well. So hopefully that's
Grizzlies and Mavericks. Just two. I think they're kind of they gotta shuffle some places up and down to get this matchup. But John Moran versus Luca Dontich, two of the premier young players in the West. Just ballers, John Moran. He's been hurt. Hopefully, he comes back healthy and has some little bit of a promise to his game. Love to see that. Luca, I'm a big fan of Luca. That's two great matchups I would like to see. And then I brought net Sixers too, and you already talked about that.
Copycat motherfucker. Yeah. The Mavericks and Grizzlies, that'd be a great matchup. Two completely different offensive teams in terms of pace. Mavericks very slow pace. Luca kind of running the show, obviously, inside out, and then Grizzlies I think the number one, the fastest paced team in the league. Very exciting to play.
So much without Ja too. That says a lot about their team around them. A bunch of young bucks.
Yeah. They've got a lot of guys
player of the year
playing out the ass.
Desmond Bane.
Desmond Bane. What he's done on the offense and defense too. But Jaren Jackson on defense is fucking feeling just ridiculous, right? My defensive player of the year pick.
Stop.
Yeah. So those are some exciting matchups that we're looking forward to. With that being said, let's transition into NCAA March Madness. So before we get into who's going to win it all, let's touch base. We didn't last week. I think we've got one team left in our Final Four predictions. I think you had Tennessee, you had Purdue, you obviously had Kansas with me, and then you had Gonzaga, and then I had Arizona, UCLA, Gonzaga, Texas Tech, and Kansas. So Kansas is the only team fucking left. We obviously did not see. I think the biggest surprise here for me out of the 4 teams is probably Villanova. I think a lot of people wrote them off that they weren't the real deal. And I think one of their star players actually got hurt too as well, and another guy just kind of picking up. I forgot his name.
Justin Smith or Justin Moore towards Achilles.
Yep, exactly. So
2 games.
With that being said, who do you have winning it all?
I will go with the Duke Blue Devils.
Dukies!
Coach K.
Okay.
He's gonna get his final little grand soiree. It'll be a magical moment for him. I think that's one of the best players in the March Madness still playing right now. I got Kansas versus Duke. I think Kansas, they're kind of clicking right now. Not really. They haven't hit on all cylinders, so that says a lot about their team. They could finally get some of their players to Njabi, the guard.
Yep.
He hasn't been playing out of his mind, but he's due for a game. I got Kansas versus Duke, and I got Duke winning in the Final Four. When is that? Friday and Sunday or what?
No, Saturday. Both games on Saturday.
Both?
Yep.
Oh, okay. And
both games on Saturday.
Championship is Monday.
Yep, championship is Monday. Yep. So
I'll take that.
So who do you have as your favorite player left in the tournament? And then I'll kind of answer both.
Paulo Banchero. He's a baller. He was the best player, probably top 3 player in all of March Madness. Not just these 4 teams.
Right.
He's gonna be a top 3 pick. Averaged 18 and 7, pretty much all season and going to this tournament. And the most impressive thing is he just beat 2 of the better defensive teams in the league, in Texas Tech and Arkansas. Right? They played Arkansas.
Right.
Great defensive players or defensive teams, and he put up some not best numbers, but around his averages. Paulo Banchero.
Right.
And then one more, Connor Gillespie, older guy. He's gonna have to pick it up a little bit with Justin Moore's injury, but Villanova always produces these 6'6" shooting guards, kind of small
6'7",
guys.
Yeah. 26-year-olds.
Seriously, man.
They always do. They always got some older cats, dude. It's like they don't leave until it's like if you go to Villanova, you play basketball, you're under like the football fucking restriction or the guidelines. You got to be here for 3 years. 3 years minimum. Then you can go out.
It's wild. They're just balling out on these like 17, 18, 19-year-olds while they're like 23.
Right.
24.
Exactly. So.
But no, Connor Gillespie, he's a good player. And Paulo Banchero, my dogs. Who you got?
I got winning it all. I got Duke for sure. So I don't have no resistance there. Paul Banchero, fucking this team is with Coach K's last run. I think it's designed for them to win. It's their turn to lose right now. In terms of my favorite player to watch, because I want at least a close game, and I think if this player were to perform, there might be potentially an upset. As Caleb Love, North Carolina. Caleb Love, North Carolina. He's been extremely streaky. He had a great game opening up against Marquette. Then he struggled against fucking Baylor, and then obviously he had the 30 piece against UCLA. So he's in which obviously helped with the upset. So I think if North Carolina has any chance in hell, they need a big game from Caleb Love. So excited to see what he can do. He's been up and down. It's been a roller coaster for him. If he can put up some points, 25 plus, I think North Carolina's definitely got a decent chance here for the upset. So Caleb Love, that's my pick. You're rocking with obviously Banchero for obvious reasons, and then we both got Duke. Finally, we're going to transition into some MLB. And the first thing we want to talk about, obviously, with the season coming up, we're kind of closing the book on the offseason per se. So we're going to talk about the biggest winners and the biggest losers for the offseason. I'll start this one off this time, and I will go with the biggest winner. I think I preached on this last time is the Giants. They've made the reason why they had success before. I feel like I'm repeating myself last time we talked about this, but the reason why they had success last year is because they just made key acquisitions, just smart acquisitions. Their rotation, one of the most underrated rotations in the MLB, with Logan Webb, obviously the homegrown talent there. Anthony D, Deshenny, however you fucking pronounce his name. All they did was go out and bring a Cy Young candidate in Carlos Rondon. It's just, it's the team is fucking loaded. They replaced Kevin Gausman very quickly with Rondon, and I just love everything that they did there. And then on top of that, Blue Jays. I mean, the Blue Jays just filled it up, right? Obviously, they traded for Matt Chapman. We already know they have Vladdy. They have George Springer if he can stay healthy. They got Bo Bichette. Uriel. They got this embarrassment of riches on the offensive side. Talking about the Giants, they actually signed Kevin Gausman, so they got him there. I think definitely by far the Blue Jays and the Giants are my winners, and then losers are the Yankees for me. It just seems like they were pegged to add pitching, pegged to add hitting, some bullpen help, and it just seemed like they never had that big splash. Kind of stayed kind of status quo. They had a few minor adjustments, but stayed status quo. A lot of kind of what the Cowboys did on the NFL side. So yeah, Yankees losers, Giants, Blue Jays winners. Who you got?
Winners. I'll go with the Twins. No one really expected them to just making all these moves into the offseason. They made that semi-big trade with the Yankees and got Urshela and the other guy.
Gary Sanchez.
Yes. And they got Sonny Gray, who was a solid pitcher, and they ended up getting fucking Carlos Correa. 3 years. I don't know.
Yeah, it's 3 years. It's a weird contract, 3 years, but he can opt out after
it
one.
It is. He can.
Probably will.
Yeah, definitely will. If he has a good year. If not,
right.
He'll probably stay there. So Twins, I like what they're doing. Fucking go for it. They were kind of in the middle of last year. No one really saw them making these power moves, so love it. Another winner was the Blue Jays. Pretty much what you said. My losers, I went with fucking the Reds. They're kind of just throwing all their players away, trying to. I don't know. They have probably like a world record for the lowest payroll in a team. Them and the A's, which is my other loser. They're just not about paying money to their players. Which that's your prerogative. Go for it. They lost Winker, Castellanos, who's a solid player. He's with I just saw him hit the other day. Forget.
He's in the Phillies. He's signed with the Phillies.
Yes. I like the Phillies lineup, by the way. And then the A's, they traded two of their best players in the league, I would say, in Olsen Chapman. I don't know how they're gonna be relevant anytime soon. So it's hard to have. The A's do it time and time again, so they'll be somehow relevant. But to see it anytime soon,
they traded
Billy Bean's gonna be a fucking wizard to make this team be a contender even for the playoffs.
Right. They got rid of obviously the guys in the office. They got rid of Frankie Montez.
They've got
rid of a lot of guys. So definitely agree with the Twins went for it. In a lot of ways, the Twins are kind of like since I love to compare shit to the NFL, kind of like the Dolphins. They went out and just got a lot of stuff, star power for a lot of guys that you name. And then finally, before we go, we're going to talk about fantasy baseball. Try not to give away too many of our secrets, but with our fantasy draft on Monday, and then Sunday from another one. And so name two, or give me some hitters that you love, or hitter that you love, and a pitcher that you love. And then give me a guy that you hate in terms of hitter, and then a guy that you don't like pitching wise.
Who I like, I kind of wrote two. We'll do one of the deeper guys if you could get later in the draft. I don't know if you like this one. Kyle Schwarber, new ballpark. I think he has potential to hit 40-plus home runs, 35-plus home runs. He went out too early, but I like his new destination. He has some big pop. I like him.
Right.
Kind of a boomer bust, but I think that's a favorite pick. And later in the rounds, obviously. Trey Turner, talk about a star, and it's pretty obvious to say this, but if you could get him in the later first round of the draft, 5 to 12. I love that. If you could do that somehow. A pitcher I love, former Dodger, Hyun-Jin Ryu, former Cy Young, 1 year removed actually. I think his stuff ages well. He had a shitty year last year, and he's with the roster that will probably be in the hunt for a lot of wins. So if you get him kind of more past when could you get him? Like fifth, sixth?
Yeah. I think he's somewhere in probably 7th round, maybe.
Yeah, I'm down for a little injury reaction. Player that I'm not completely sold on. Shortstop is a deep position. Is Trevor Story. You know, I like him, but hopefully not too early in like the first or second. It will be very interesting to see how the ballpark change or the atmosphere change from Colorado to going to the Red Sox will be. I like him, but I don't know. I don't want him to be a top 3 or 4 shortstop coming off the bench or coming off the draft.
Right. But a pitcher you don't like?
Pitcher I don't like.
Did you get one?
No, I don't want another like. I'll give you one of my sleepers.
Julio Rodriguez. Please.
Julio Rodriguez. Julio Rodriguez. Late in the draft, if he can make a roster, I think he'll be a baller. You know, top rookie of this class with the Mariners. Okay. If you didn't know.
Right, I did it honestly.
That's why I only have a story as my hate. What about you? Tell me some hates since I didn't fulfill the need.
Yeah, hate. These are going to be some high-end guys. At least the first one is I got to go with my boy Mike Trout. Mike Trout and Anthony Rendon. These guys, especially Mike Trout. Mike Trout's projected to be in that kind of second half of the first round. Obviously, he's got huge upside. If he can stay healthy, we know that he has tremendous power. He's going to drive in a ton of runs. Gets for average. He can draw walks, and he's kind of subsided a little bit. He'll strike out, but he subsided that pain point a little bit. But just the injuries have continued to pile up. He has not played he hasn't played 80% of a fucking season in probably about 3 or 4 seasons. So it's just I don't know. I just don't like it. It's like inevitable for him to miss at least 40 or so games or so. And the same reason for Anthony Rendon. Just another guy he can't stay healthy. If he plays, obviously, then there's a still there, just like there is a still with Trout. But this guy is just always having nagging injuries. Definitely injury prone. So those two guys that I'm perfectly okay with. Like if they turn out to stay healthy and have an outlier season in somebody else's team, that's fine. I'd be damned if they're on my team and I fall for it again. Because I did have Anthony Rendon last year. On the hate side, Kevin Gausman. He tremendous season. He's basically going to one of the one of the best pitching ballparks at AT&T Park or Oracle, I think it's called Oracle Park in San Fran. To one of the worst, right, in Toronto Blue Jays and going to the AL East, which he's pitched there before, but that's when his career wasn't that great, right? He had the potential. I don't like him where he's being drafted. I think he's got good stuff. He's been a 2-pitch pitcher, but because his split fingers is fucking nasty. Nobody can kind of square it up. But I just think there's going to be some regression there, and I don't like where he's being drafted. And Aaron Nola too. Aaron Nola is another guy where he's gonna get a lot of strikeouts. He's gonna pitch a lot of innings, but he's gonna have a high whip. He's gonna walk guys. He's gonna let guys hit. He's susceptible to hitting home runs off of him. So a high whip guy. Obviously, you let guys on, bad things will happen. So Aaron Nola, those two guys, I'm kind of staying away from at their particular draft position. Hitters that I love, and hitters and pitchers that I like. Pitchers that I like, Max Fried from the Braves. I think he's got nasty stuff. He's going to eat a lot of innings. He's going to strike out enough guys. He's got good control. He's going to get you some quality starts. And Adam Wainwright. I love Adam Wainwright. Yeah, he's got his buddy Pujols back. Yachty, obviously, he's still there. This is kind of the curtain call for Pujols. But it got Adam Wainwright. Obviously, he's an older guy, but he's just a guy that just eats up a ton of innings. He's throwing 6 innings, 7 innings, 8 innings. I mean, he's just got he just gets the job done. Much so like a Kershaw, he throws strikes as well. So I love me Adam Wainwright where he's getting drafted. Finally, hitters that I love. I love this guy because he does everything. Is Kyle Tucker on the Astros?
I
He
should have
just does
known. I know you
everything.
do.
He hits for power. He's going to get a ton of extra base hits. I think he led the league, if not top 3 in doubles. He hits for average. Like, he gets stolen bases across the board. He does it all. He doesn't strike out a ton. I love guys who don't strike out. And so that, and then also final guy that I love, Justin Turner. Just another guy that just gets the fucking job done. He can hit for average. He got enough pop in his. He'll hit you probably 25 home runs or so. Can drive runs in that lineup. He's going to drive runs in, right, with all the guys ahead of him. And another guy that just has patience, and he doesn't strike out, which just kind of a trend for me. I look for guys that don't strike out. If you can put the ball in play, good things will happen. Just like on the flip side, if you're a pitcher, if you put guys on, bad things will. Yeah, those are my guys.
What do you think of? What do you think of Brian Buxton and his little resurgence last year?
Yeah, I like, obviously on paper, I love the talent, right? Just great talent. He's another guy like Mike Trout, not to that certain extent. I don't think he's not Mike Trout talent. He's great. He's right there, right? But he just can't stay healthy. He's had terrible, just luck with injuries. But I do think if he can stay healthy, if he can keep the strikeouts down, he's a great player. Definitely, he's a league winner if he can stay healthy and keep the strikeouts down. So Brian Buxton, I definitely will keep an eye out for him if he slides down. So those are my guys. I think that's it for the show. I think we did great. We're at the 46-minute mark.
Speedy, love it. Executed, efficient.
It's perfect. Efficient, straight to the point.
And out. So, don't waste our time. Don't waste our time.
Why not? So any closing arguments or statements before we get out?
Closing arguments and statements. Let me ponder my thoughts.
Trey Lance is going to be on the bench?
No. Trey Lance, a future top 8 fantasy quarterback next year. Book it, send it, seal it. Top 8 for sure. If he starts, week 1, that is. He will, but I think
on a per game basis, yeah.
Yeah, I think definitely top 8.
Right.
I'm pretty confident saying that. Looking at last year's list, and I think Jalen Hurts was like 7th or 6th, maybe. Burrow was like 7th or 8th. Gotta look again, but it's totally realistic, especially with the way he runs and the play designs he'll get.
Let's see. Who do you got? Let's see who you would put in ahead of him. Let's see. You got Patrick Mahomes. You got Herbert.
Yep.
You got Josh Allen. You got Derek Carr. I mean, people are probably gonna put Derek Carr above him. Yeah. Derek Carr is gonna be. He throws the ball across the park. He throws it 1,000,000 times a game. Now he has Devontae Adams. He's gonna throw the ball. And Waller was hurt too. I think Derek Carr is gonna go ahead of him. Guys are probably still gonna take
Dak. Go ahead of him or finish it like the season with. I'm talking about finishing the season. He'll be top 8 fantasy quarterback. I'm not talking about draft position.
Oh no, of course. And
okay.
Yeah.
So, I think 4. Brady.
Yeah, Brady's going to be there. I think Aaron Rodgers is still going to be there. He's still going to be there. I think Dak is still going to be there in terms of, ahead of him. Shit, I can't even think off the top of my head now. I'm just going to the Russell Wilson probably. I think he might have a resurgence.
7.
So I think he's probably, he'd be probably 10 to 13 range, with high upside, right? He's got some high upside. If everything clicks, then he could be fucking top 5,
the best ever.
But God, got the Joe Montana. So yeah, that's it for today's show. Obviously, big announcement with the NFL overtime. Rules changing in the playoffs. So we love that.
Love it.
Which I love. Some people don't like it, but I love that it's the exclusivity to the playoffs. I don't like trying to extend. I know regular season games could be impactful, but I don't like it. Just let it be in the playoffs. If you lost in the regular season, you have plenty of time to win. So
make it quick. Make it quick. Overtime shouldn't be too drawn out.
Yeah, only playoffs. Only playoffs.
Yeah, it really matters. You got to win the got to win or lose a game with the fucking ball in your best player's hands, which is the quarterback or the most impactful player. So I like it for it. About it.
Yeah, perfect. So thank you again for you guys tuning in, whether it's YouTube. If you're listening on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, like button. If you're watching on any of the audio streaming services, we thank you again. And that's it for us. And I will see you next week.
Well, that's